Have you ever needed the perfect vehicle gun? Something compact enough to hide in plain sight, fast to deploy, and powerful enough to change the outcome of a close encounter? If you're thinking about what to keep in a truck, van, or glove box, the options today are more creative, more capable, and frankly more confusing than ever. So tonight we're cutting through the noise. I pulled together field impressions, manufacturer notes, and real user experience to bring you a cinematic, no-nonsense countdown of the best truck guns and vehicle-ready platforms in circulation right now. No legal deep dive here. I'll cover that in a separate video. This one is about practicality. How these rigs behave, why operators pick them, and which ones deserve a spot in your kit when space is tight and seconds matter. Stay with me, because at number 1, you'll probably be surprised by what wins out. At number 10, we start small and clever with the FDP-9 folding pistol, a design born from two names folks in the industry respect, reimagined for stow-and-go utility. Folded, the FDP-9 disappears into tiny spaces. Unfolded, it's a compact package built to perform. This isn't a toy or a showroom curiosity. The internal chassis borrows proven architecture and then tightens tolerances and hardens parts to take heat when it's asked to. The clever part is the 1-second deployment. With a practiced thumb on the charging handle, the pistol flips into action, giving you a deployable car gun that doesn't scream, "I have a rifle in my cab." For truck gun use, that's a huge win. Concealment without sacrificing control. Expect the FDP-9 to live in glove compartments, center consoles, and covert compartments because it balances concealment, ergonomics, and a defensive footprint that actually works when you need it. At number 9, imagine a conventional pistol-caliber carbine, but with a twist that simply makes sense for confined spaces. The pivot-folding PCC rewrites the compact game by allowing the upper and lower halves to physically pivot, collapsing into a package that's astonishingly short for what you're getting. It runs standard magazines, threads for a suppressor if you want to tame the report, and offers a full-length barrel when extended. What matters for a truck gun is that the pivot gives you a shoulder-able, controllable platform when deployed, and an unobtrusive profile when stored. It's the kind of thinking that converts a day-in-the-life tool into a practical defensive option, without the carriage and storage headaches that plague bulkier carbines. At number 8, we're in shotgun territory with the Remington-style TSE-14, short, brutal, and unapologetically close quarters. This pump action with a pistol grip and a 14-inch barrel is built to be swung and brought to bear in hallways, porches, and tight vehicle exits. It's heavy enough to absorb recoil and light enough to maneuver. When you train with short shotguns, you learn one thing fast: the ability to cycle quickly and deliver impactful projectiles at standoff distances measured in yards, not hundreds of yards, is its greatest value. The TX-style gun embodies that principle. For a truck gun, you may not want to shoulder for miles, but in a vehicle extraction or a rapid home ingress, a compact pump shotgun gives you immediate, unmistakable stopping power. At number 7, meet the SPR Armory Kuna PDW, a subcompact pistol-caliber defensive tool that trades nothing for controllability. Built around a roller-delayed action rather than simple blowback, this little package reduces perceived recoil and makes rapid, controlled follow-up shots far easier. The Kuna's architecture allows for a compact length and a 30-round translucent magazine option for when capacity matters. For truck carry, where reload opportunities are uncertain and ergonomics have to be rock solid, the Kuna's balance of soft shooting action and compact footprint makes it a thoughtful choice. It's the kind of platform that rewards dry fire practice and returns that training with calm, predictable behavior when you need it. At number 6, Smith & Wesson's foray into bullpup shotguns with the M&P 12 changes the defending within a vehicle equation. Bullpups are controversial at the range. Lovers and haters argue endlessly. But for a vehicle gun, the M&P 12's compact overall length and mammoth capacity are persuasive. Dual magazine tubes mean you can choose payloads and run an unusually high round count without bulky reloads. The M&P12's ergonomic layout and ambidextrous controls make it approachable even when the action is hectic and hands are gloved. If you want a truck gun that says I can outlast a fight without needing a full-sized shotgun, this one's an obvious option. Heavy, yes, but built for outcomes where volume, dependability, and short-range lethality matter more than parade weight. At number 5, the Palmetto 9mm AKV brings an old-school contour into a modern car gun conversation. Chambered in pistol caliber but engineered in the AK lineage, this rifle gives you a durable, long-lived barrel and a forgiving operating system in a very familiar package. For vehicle mounts and truck gun storage, the AKV's forged parts and night-righted barrel mean it's going to take a lifetime of rough handling without complaining. The paddle-style mag release and extended safety updates make it friendlier than vintage AKs, and compatibility with high-quality pistol-caliber magazines gives you logistic flexibility. This gun is for people who want a workhorse that can be ignored for months and then relied upon for precision when everything's on the line. At number 4, the KS7 ultra-compact bullpup shotgun surprises with how right it feels in a tight rig. It's one of the shortest shotguns that still behaves like a shotgun, and because shells eject downward, the design is inherently vehicle-friendly. You don't get spattered shells bouncing awkwardly against upholstery or passengers. The KS7's single-tube simplicity and short stroke pump make it a joy to manipulate in the close space of a truck bed or an SUV cargo area, for those who prize concealment and accessibility in a box or under a seat. This is the type of shotgun that proves compact design can still deliver familiar functional performance. At number 3, the Axer Arms Folding Mini represents a new wave of truly transportable defensive tools. Semi-automatic, short, and capable of fitting in surprising pockets and compartments, the FSS Mini opens the door to a legitimate throw-in-a-bag-and-go solution. Its folding mechanism and lightweight mean that urban professionals who need a low-profile, reliable emergency tool can carry more confidently without awkward bulk in their daily vehicle routine. What makes it compelling as a truck gun is simple. It's accessible, it's fast to unfold, and when you bring it up, it acts like a proper close-quarters rifle, which is exactly the behavior you want in a high-stress vehicle exit. At number 2, the Smith & Wesson folding pistol caliber carbine in 10mm shows the other side of the spectrum. Big bore performance in a compact chassis. Yes, some truck gun purists scoff at 10mm in a carbine's role, but the reality is that a longer barrel and heavier cartridge yield far more energy and practical terminal performance than a short-barreled pistol. The folding FPC in 10mm brings that advantage into a package you can stow under a seat or within a center console with far less ceremony than an AR. The 10mm stout ballistics make it an intimidating option for those who want a compact rig that still has serious reach and stopping power when it matters. And now, at number 1, the vehicle-ready carbine that balances modularity, affordability, and real-world utility better than nearly anything else on the market. The PSA Jackal 9mm carbine. This one is a textbook example of how good design and value converge. It's compact, uses purpose-built blowback mechanics tuned for reliability, and ships optics-ready with a top rail that makes it easy to adapt to red dots, lights, and quick-deploy setups. For truck gun duties, you need something that's simple to operate, easy to maintain, and robust enough to take knocks without an exotic parts list. The Jackal delivers all of that at a price point and parts ecosystem that makes routine ownership practical. It's the kind of gun you buy without overthinking, stash in the right place, and trust. And that's why it tops this list. Now let's step back and reflect on what these choices reveal about the modern truck gun. First, compactness is king. Whether a folding pistol, a bullpup shotgun, or a PDW-style carbine, the priority for vehicle deployment is physical footprint. Anything that's easy to stow without screaming armed increases the likelihood that a tool will be accessible and not forgotten. Second, Ergonomics and control matter more than flashy features. Operators want predictable controls, no fussy safeties, and magazines that swap easily under stress. Third, serviceability rules. Parts availability, simple designs, and the ability to field strip without tools keep a gun useful in the long haul. If a vehicle gun is impossible to maintain, it becomes a liability, not a tool. Fourth, caliber choice is contextual. Some users will prefer 12-gauge close-stopping power, others prioritize spare rounds in 9mm, and a few still want the punch of a big-bore 10mm carbine. Each choice affects weight, capacity, and logistics, so pick the one that fits the scenarios you imagine. A note on training and stowage: a gun that lives in your truck must be practiced with in the exact conditions you plan to use it. Concealment, retrieval from a compartment, shouldering, and transitions inside the vehicle are all fundamentally different from open-range drills. If you store a short shotgun under a folded seat, practice drawing it from that position until the motion is muscle memory. If your carbine folds, practice the deployment until it's as natural as opening a door. The odd part is how few owners do that. And the predictable result is fumbling under stress. Don't be that person. Practice as you plan to fight. Before I close, there are a few hard truths no one likes to sugarcoat. A vehicle environment is hostile to equipment. Heat, humidity, abrasion, and sudden impacts all conspire against your gear. Electronics, optics, and polymer components are especially sensitive if left in extreme conditions. Batteries die, springs rust, magazines bend. If you plan to keep a gun in a vehicle, plan for maintenance cycles and swap-out schedules. Rotate magazines, check zero on optics, and take batteries out of electronics if the gun will sit unused for long stretches. The cheap life cycle mistakes cost lives when seconds count. One last thought: the best truck gun is the one you will actually keep trained on, maintained, and confident with. That's more important than the headline features, the latest folding trick, or the novelty of a bullpup with dual tubes. Simplicity wins under stress. Reliability wins in poor light and confined spaces. Familiarity wins when instincts must guide action. If you let marketing decide your choices, you'll often wind up with a showpiece instead of a tool. So here's my closing question for you. And I want real answers in the comments. If you could only keep one gun in your vehicle for the next 10 years, which would you choose and why? Would you trade capacity for concealment, or would you take raw stopping power and accept the bulk? Tell me the exact model you'd trust, how you'd store it, and how often you'd train with it. I read every comment, and the smartest takes shape our next deep dive video where I'll actually test stow and deploy times live. If this video helped you cut through the clutter, do the channel a favor, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and share this with one friend who keeps a gun in their truck. We're going to build a series: legal primers, practical stowage solutions, and live deployment drills so you can make safer, smarter decisions. Until next time, respect the tools, practice relentlessly, and always prioritize safety above all else. Stay sharp.